Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's great to see you again, and you look fantastic.
Thank you. Great to see you again as well.
Yeah. So to start with the session, so it's gonna be a casual conversation between two writers, and we'll have a quick Q&A to cater to all the questions of our followers. They're about to join us, and so let's begin by congratulating you for the immense success of your book, False Awakening. Congratulations once again. It's great.
Thank you so much. I am so excited. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a real dream come true for me. So.
Yeah. So how do you feel being a best-selling author? Because it's very rare for such a young writer to reach that benchmark in her career. So how do you feel right now?
Oh, it feels amazing, especially with I don't know if you're gonna go into this or not, but the movie deal that we got from False
Yeah.
Awakening. But yes, for it to be a best-selling book is amazing. I still
Yeah, the
remember,
movie
you know,
deal. Let's talk about the movie deal. So how are you seeing this movie deal? Is it going to be one of those movies that have a lot of self-made content with the book not being included as much, or do you expect the book to be a significant part of the movie? Because we have seen many movies that does have good cinematography, that does have good visual effects, that does have good direction, but the basic essence of the book is left out somewhere. So how do you expect that things will go for the
that is a
movie?
That is a great question, and yeah, you're exactly right because there are so many movies out there that are based off of best-selling books and based off of great books, but they're not really the books. They're not really very accurate to the books once you actually read them.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah,
the False Awakening movie from the script that we've been reading so far from the script writer, he loves my book, which is pretty cool, and he's very he's making the book of False Awakening very similar to the storyline and the plot and everything of the movie, almost
yeah.
exactly. There's
So
just a few extra twists and things and such.
so we can expect Arianna Fox's vision in the movie.
Yes, absolutely. You definitely can expect
Yeah,
that.
that's great. That's great. So at least one movie where we can actually see the book being reflected appropriately. So congratulations, Ariana, and uh, we hope that at least I'm going to go and watch it in the cinema and make
Yeah, I
sure
would
that
love to
I and I send you my Snapchat videos from the cinema. So let's talk about the book again. What character do you think would be the most fun to watch when the movie is made?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that too much, but I think probably the main character, either the main character Chris Coleman or the comic relief character Peter Wan. I think both of those characters would be super fun to watch in the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
one of them is your favorite character as well.
okay, so I think my favorite character, that's hard. I think my favorite character, and my parents say that this is their favorites too. Their favorite too. Is probably Peter Wan. He is super
Yeah,
a hilarious person. Lots of funny comments throughout, but he also knows when to be serious. And he's actually currently the one in charge of the rebellion, and so he has a big plate of responsibility, but he kind of takes it all with a grain of salt in a way and in a
yeah.
fun light.
I've been reading False Awakening, and
Awesome.
yeah. So I did come across some very intense scenes, which I thought that when the movie is made, that scenes might require some really good visual graphics and really good visual art and really creative visual arts. So how do you think the movie should incorporate all the visual scenes that are in the movie? Because the rebellion, and there are certain sequences where there's a fight, and all those sequences. So how compelling do you think should be the visual effects in the movie?
Well, that's a good question, and the kind of the obvious answer would be that it should be the best it can be. You know, if there are you know, visual effects, then be as compelling as possible. But you know, I'm not trying to be too picky in a way, but I also do want it to be
Yeah,
conveying the message that conveying the message and conveying the storyline and everything that I have in mind for False Awakening, and not like veering too off course. So I think
because
that
yeah, because we have seen many sci-fi novels being converted into movies, like the Divergent series, like
yes.
like another fantasy novel like Tolkien. We have seen Harry Potter coming to the cinematic universe. So all these movies had one thing in common, that were extraordinary visual effects. So, and since False Awakening is a sci-fi novel, and I think visual effects should play and will play a very compelling role in the movie. So,
Yes, agreed.
have you decided who's going to direct the movie?
I'm sorry, what's the last thing you said? You cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I thought I said, have you decided on who's going to direct the movie?
Who's going to direct the movie? Oh yes. So as I had mentioned before, we are in contract right now with this movie deal, and the producer is Keith Barrows from 360 Studios. The director, we are still looking. We are still working on that, and you know, actively seeking, you know, and looking for directors all around. But yeah, it's definitely going to be great. And
Great, yeah.
yeah, but like I said though, and like I would mention, you know, the producer is in charge of that.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely, the producer is in charge because he's making the movie. So,
Yes.
yeah, so the next
Yeah,
question
exactly.
is, yeah. So, my next question is, how do you see writers from the Eastern Bloc playing a role in Hollywood cinema? Because now you are becoming a part of it. The diversity in Hollywood cinema and the diversity in creative writing. How important do you think diversity is in creative writing? Because I belong to the Eastern Bloc and you belong to the Western Bloc, yet we share the love of literature. So, how do you think diversity is in this regard? How important do you think diversity is in this regard?
That is a great question, and I would say diversity definitely is extremely important, and in many different ways to showcase, you know, all different kinds of people from all different areas, you know, and all different walks of life, as we like to say, you know, all different
Yeah,
you know, ages, and you know, different from different locations and places and stuff. And so in False Awakening, there are plenty of different characters. There are people that are from like kind of California area, then Chicago. You know, people
yeah,
from America, but also people from there's an Asian American in there, and there's an also an extremely awesome, wise Asian man who is a lucid dream master. There's an African American who is extremely powerful and awesome. There are all kinds of different people from all kinds of different cultures and, you know, walks of life. And I think it definitely is great.
yeah. So basically, False Awakening is a very beautiful blend of diverse characters, I would say,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they have a wide range of characters. We have Afro Americans, we have Asians. So, and since I've not yet reached the mid of the novel, but I'm certain that it will surprise me. So, coming to some a bit more quirky questions. Uh, who do you think in the modern time can be a very uh, good writer to read, in your
In the
opinion?
modern time, that's a good question, because most of my favorite authors are actually classic authors. Um,
Yeah,
there
most of
are,
my
you know
favorites
what?
are
I'm gonna
classics, but in modern times I've been searching for authors who I can say that this author is one of the modern times best author to read. So, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I would say there are all kinds, depending on the genre that you like to read, and depending on the books that you like, or the writing style too. Some of my favorites are Veronica Roth, who, like you mentioned, who writes Divergent. She writes very, very well, and for any first-person lovers out there who loves like action and all that, she is a great writer. Same goes for Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. Oh, I love
Yeah,
James Dashner, who wrote The Maze Runner, and also I love The Eye of
Maze
Mind.
Runner,
This is
yes.
not as which is not as well known, but I love the Eye of Mine. I forget what it's called, the Mortal Doctrine trilogy or whatever it is. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
But he is a great writer, and he actually writes in third person, which is kind of really fun.
Yeah, coming to Maze Runner, I've read the series and I absolutely love the concept of Maze Runner. But
Yes.
when I saw the movie, it wasn't, in my opinion, as compelling as the book was. So there is always this risk looming on writers that when the movie is created, the essence that they incorporated or in the books should reflect in the movies. Like I've asked you earlier. Do you feel that risk? Do you feel that some uncertainty or insecurity, like will the movies be as good as the book is?
That's a good question, and I do think I sometimes would think to myself, I hope it's yeah, like you said, as good as the book is, or sometimes though I would think I hope my book is as good as what the movie might be, But I really think it's a delicate balance of having both to be awesome and both to be well made, and that one will inspire the other. Like, for example, if one watches the movie of False Awakening, then they'll want to read the book, or if one reads the book, they'll want to watch the movie. So it kind of like benefits each other. Absolutely.
So most of the times it's like the movie, the people who watch the movie and they like the movie, they transit towards reading the book. Like we have seen, most people have first watched the Harry Potter or first watched the Game of Thrones series and then became readers. So do you think it's going to be the case in your book as well? Because we have seen the number of readers increasing after watching the movie. So do you expect such kind of response for False Awakening?
I am definitely expecting and bracing and being excited for that kind of response. Yes, I would love that when the movie comes out, there will be an influx and inflow of new, lots of readers coming in for my book. That will be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So there's a wide potential for False Awakening turning into a sequel or turning into a series. So are you working on a sequel right now, or is there any idea in your mind?
For a book, there is definitely an idea, and there is definitely a possibility that I will be working on a sequel. Currently, right now, I'm working on my third book, which is Saber Black. But there is definitely, especially when the popularity rises and people are actually there's a want from people to watch more of the movies and read more of the books, if there would be, then I would be so happy to pick up that pen or put my fingers to the keys, more like, and write a second book with those awesome characters again, and even maybe some new ones would be super fun to see. So yeah, absolutely.
Because we all are expecting a sequel, because the way False Awakening has been written by you, it's wonderful, and it's such a fun book to read, and it's very interesting. So we all crave for a sequel, and because if the sequel is there, then the movie series will continue. So my next question, Arianna, is how are you managing your personal life and your professional life? Because I'm sure you are a hell lot of a busy women these days.
Definitely, I am very busy. Yes. I am definitely, that is a good question, and you hit it right on, you hit the nail right in the head. Managing, balance. That is like the key word there, because work life is great, but you also have to make sure you're not going so much, you're working so hard that you don't think about yourself or your family or anything. So for me and for us and for my parents, who are incredibly supportive and amazing of everything that I'm doing, really the biggest thing is family first. And that's kind of where it lies, is that family comes first, then other things and work and all that. But the most important thing is spending time together. And if there happens to be something like I get a speaking event, or I get something where I need to work all day and I can't do something that we would usually do as a family together, then no problem. We'll do that thing as a family a different day or something like that. But we don't just cancel it out. So it's definitely a really good work-life balance, and not even just in the family aspect, but also in the regular life aspect of being a teen. A live teenager in natural habitat kind of thing. I think it's still good to play games, to have fun, but you just have to kind of keep it a balance, like I said.
So my next question is a bit different from this question, and that is there is a very vast distinction between the literature of of the East and the literature of the West, because of the cultural difference, because of the languages, because of the regional languages are so different. So, have you ever had the chance of studying or reading Eastern literature? Or because I'm an Eastern writer, so I know that in the East, Western literature and Western culture is highly celebrated. So, what do you think? How important Eastern culture and Eastern literature is?
I think really every culture and every type of literature is equally important. I think Western and Eastern literature are both amazing. I haven't gotten a whole lot of time to read more of that style, but I've read actually a lot of different works. Like I've read works from French writers, from English writers, and actually and a Scottish writer, because I was thinking about A Place in England, but it was written from a Scottish person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would definitely say that the diversity in how it's written is incredible, and I think it's equal across all over. So I would love to sometime read more of the Eastern writings and study it and kind of see, what it's all about, what makes it unique, because there are so many things that make everything, unique. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So another question, and that is, when should we expect the release of False Awakening movie?
That is a great question, and it's still being in the works. We are shooting for a date, but we will give a big, huge announcement when we do know when it's gonna be, and we're gonna make it a huge deal. But for right now, we're still working on it. But
so can I expect an exclusive from you after the movie release?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm saying that should I expect an exclusive interview from Arianna Fox after the release of the movie?
Yeah, so we'll see. If you want, you can also email or speak to our agent, Jean Russo. Her email is speakingofsuccessinc@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. So, Arianna, it was wonderful talking to you, and I'll be ending this on the very last question, and that is an advice to all the young Eastern and Western writers as to how they should approach, or they should groom their writing skills, and how they should aim for publishing.
That's a great question. So two big tips for all writers out there. One has to do with one of the most common problems you ever hear writers talking about, and that is writer's block. And everybody, practically every writer under the sun is like, how do we solve writer's block? And what I like to quote this one quote that says, if you have writer's block, move the block. And really what it is that's really my thinking about this, because if you can't come up with words, if you are daunted by the blank page, that is so threatening, then maybe just either go outside, take a walk, and breathe in the fresh air, that kind of thing. Or even if that doesn't work when you get back and you still can't write, then write nonsense or write another cool story that you're thinking of. And then suddenly you don't have a blank page anymore. It's filled. And then you're like, oh wait, I can replace this with other stuff. So it's not the blank page syndrome, so that's one thing I would mention. And then another is, no matter what kind of writer you are, just always remember to keep going, and never, ever, ever stop. Because writing is such an amazing thing. It's really a gift to be able to really weave stories that other people will read and other people will imagine in their minds. So never stop writing, and I know it's hard, but don't compare your writing to other people's writings. I have to do that too. I have to force myself, okay, you know what? If somebody else is my age and he or she is an epic writer, but he or she is succeeding, I shouldn't be jealous. I should just say, awesome, I'm glad you can succeed. I'll succeed. Let's succeed together. Yeah. And that is a really big thing too, because no one ever has the same idea as another person. It's maybe both are writing a sci-fi, but one is writing a sci-fi in the future and one is writing a sci-fi in the present that has to do with dreams, false awakening. But that kind of thing. So never compare and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. All right. Let's not compare, and let's keep moving forward. This was Arianna Fox. Thank you very much, Arianna, for joining me live tonight. And I'm sure the movie is going to be as great and as exciting to watch as the book is. So all the best, and all the best from my side to you, and I hope that the movie is a massive success. So thank you, Arianna. This was Arianna Fox, and this is Saad Ahmed Khan, and we'll be waiting for Arianna's new book and the movie as well. So thank you, Arianna, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
You too.
All right, so this was Arianna Fox, and we had a bit of a chat about how to publish the book and her new movies coming, and we all hope and pray that it's awesome and it's going to be legendary. So this was it, and this is Saad Ahmed Khan signing off from yet another live session. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.